In this tutorial in CyberLink PowerDirector, we're going to take a look at texture effects. I'd like to do three things with them. First of all, show you in the new interface how easy it is to see how they would change the video clips that you're working with in your project. Secondly, I'd like to show you three of them that I think are rather unique and may be helpful. And thirdly, I'd like to show you how to transition in and out of these kinds of effects, even though you can't use anything from your transitions room. So let's look a little bit about how to do these three things. First of all, I have this clip. It's a really nice shot. It's a drone shot over a bay, and we have all these amazing rocks, and then the drone is flying low right over them and exposes the shot to the bay itself. Nice clip. So let's take this and see what we can do with some texture effects. I go to my effects room, and when I do that, if I open up my video effects, I see the bottom one is texture. There are 28 of them in this category. Click on texture. We'll click on texture, and then we'll give ourselves more room. Now, the nice thing about the newest interface is that to see how that would work on your video clip, all you do is click on it. And it pretends like it's applying it to your clip. It will play the clip, a few seconds of it, and here's one for tiles, for example. Solarize, oil painting, edge, broken glass, color crayon. Very easy to see what they would do, at least with their default settings. Now you can change the settings on all of these. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it's very easy to guess what they would do when you apply them simply by clicking on them. I didn't drag them to the timeline, didn't change my video at all. But I find a very interesting way in which you can preview them. So what I want to do is go to one of these and start showing you three different ones that I find unique. Now, I made them a favorite by clicking on the lower right corner. So I'm going to go back and click on the My Favorites. And here I find among the other favorites I have some of these. So let's take the continuous shooting first of all. I'm going to drag and drop it on my clip. A reminder, there's two ways you can apply that. You can drag these texture effects right on the clip, or you can drag them down to an empty area in your timeline, and they will be independent of the clip, and they don't have to last for the duration of the clip. So you can apply them by using an effect track instead. But here, in this case, we'll apply it directly to this clip with the drone over the rocks. So when I play this, I'm going to see it takes the shot, moves it to a quarter panel, freezes it, continues in the upper right, then it moves to the lower left, and then it finally ends in the lower right, and then it expands that to cover the entire video. So that's the nature of this particular one. It's rather interesting, and I find it somewhat useful. But let me show you how you can edit it. I'm going to click on the green box and click on continuous shooting. Now I have it set to 2. You can have any number between 2 and 5. That controls the number of panels you have going horizontally, which will affect the number going vertically. Now in each of these you can apply a mask, but in this case masks don't really do much. If I take this rectangular mask and click on it and I try to play it, what it's going to do is it will simply use that mask as the way in which it tries to do what we're looking at for the entire scene. It doesn't make much sense, so I'm going to just turn the mask off. So when I have it set to 5, it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it drops down, and it keeps moving forward with the video, one segment at a time. So we have more rows and more columns. I kind of like 2 because it's simple. You can actually see what's going on, but you pick whatever you want. You can bump it up to 3 if you want. You'll have 9. 4 will give you 12. 5 will give you 15 shots. And then it always ends the same with the one in the lower right corner filling the screen. But it's an interesting tool. If you want to get rid of it, all you do is click on the garbage can. We'll do that. There's another one that I think is somewhat interesting, and it's called Natural Day Filter. Now, A daylight filter is a filter you use when your scene is too bright. I'm going to move to another scene here. It's a waterfall. It's really not too bright, but you'll see the contrast a little better. I'm going to take and drag this down and put it on my video. You notice it darkened it just a little bit. If I go to my settings here, in neutral density filter, we have a start position, which is at the top. We have a default end position, which is 100 in the middle. And then we have the alpha degree. We can replace the color with any color we like. This darkens it for black. We can also use something like a white for something different. Again, the masks don't seem to apply in these texture cases very well. So if I play this, what we'll see is it's acted like I've put a density filter on my camera and it's darkened it. Let's go into the details a bit. One more time, you'll see what I mean. If I change the start position and I move it down, you're going to see immediately the difference. If I take the end position and move it down, I'm covering the entire video. So there's my start and my end. I can also change the alpha degree. If I go to the right, it makes it darker, darker, darker. And to the left, it basically makes it so it doesn't work at all. If I have a scene that's too bright, I can use this very effectively to make those changes. So it's just, for me, it's kind of a surprise tool available in PowerDirector. Let's look at another one that I find a little bit interesting. It's called Bump Map. I'll drag that down and we'll go back to our original video. And the bump map for me adds a sense of granularity to the video shot. There it is in the default settings. Now normally I wouldn't use it like that, so I'm going to click on the bump map, look at the settings, and I'll change the degree and I'll kick it back quite a bit. So it almost acts like it's sharpness, but not quite. And so when I get over these rocks, they're a little more gritty than they were originally. If I turn it off, there's the original. If I turn it back on, there is my bump map. So it's kind of a neat little tool that you can use in this particular kind of situation. Now, the third thing I want to focus on in this tutorial is how could I transition in and out of something like this? I'm going to look at the bump map that we just created here. And I'm going to increase the degree so it's pretty dramatic. Let's make it something like that. Then I'm going to take my clip and move it down to track number 2 in the default stacking order. The next thing I want to do is I want to work on the opacity values. So let's enlarge the track so you can see the differences here. There we go. And the top line here, this white line under the name, that's my opacity value. So I'm going to hold the control key down and click. That will create an opacity keyframe. I'll create another one here, another one here. So what I want to do is take the first one and I'll drag it down, which will turn the opacity off. I'll take this one, turn it down, and then we have it going up from here. So if I play this from the beginning, since I have nothing in the background, it's black, it will slowly fade this one in. So we have no effect, and then slowly it comes in, and we're fading this in with this bump texture effect. But that's not what I want. I want it to fade in as though it started out normal. So the way to do that is to take the same clip and drag it on a higher numbered track in the default stacking order. And that is now my background. So as we play this, we'll start about here. It is normal at this point, and the other one is fading in on top of it. And so now it's becoming more gritty as you go over the rocks. Likewise, you can make it go back down again by simply taking the control key and holding the left mouse button, clicking where you want. Let's click here, and let's be dramatic. We'll take the opacity down again. So in this segment here, I'm seeing the effect. Let's click back here. We've got the gritty rocks. And then when we're done with the rocks, the other scene goes back to normal. So that's how you can fake a transition using texture effects in CyberLink PowerDirector.